Hello everybody and welcome to the Celtic Unrestricted View podcast. My name is Ryan Clifford. Join me in this episode is Sean White and JP, and I nearly fucked the intro there. Episode. If you laugh each start an episode.
Pick your teeth in.
Yeah, what teeth I got now that? After watching that game last night, by the way. Hey, like I say, it's a brand new episode. Obviously, I was with Joe Reid, St Rock's assistant manager, after the Liga game. Obviously, boys, we watched the game yesterday. We'll get your opinions on that. Bit of fun episode as well, looking back at all transfers, players who we signed and probably expected better. A lot of names on Twitter today, and I think a lot of names we can look back on that we can laugh at. Again, we try and no slaughter professionals, but I think in some cases, I think it's a bit.
Anyway.
I think it's liable to give guys a bit of swagging. But obviously, Sean, before we come on, mate, we spoke about the game and players, i.e. James Forrest. I think James Forrest was a good thing to start the episode, Sean. I think there are a lot of things last night on Twitter about him. Again, for me, Sean, I'll get your opinion as well, but I'll get yours first, mate, because I've got a lot to say about him on his squad status and his performances and obviously the new deal. I know we spoke about it in the past, but I think trending last night, he was trending a lot last night. So welcome to episode, mate, and thanks for coming on, mate.
Thanks very much for having me. James Forrest, start off by, I'm not one of these guys that will argue if people are going to say legend might be a bit of a strong word, but in terms of like a great servant to the club, a great Celtic man, you can't argue that he is. But in terms of the here and now, he's nowhere near good enough to be playing for us. You could see it last night as well. The first chance, you're thinking, right, cool, 1-0 up, and he's missed it. The thing I've noticed through pre-season as well is whenever we are hitting fast on the attack with the speed of this team, the ball goes to Forrest and he just kills the momentum. Either by somebody passing the ball to him, it just kills the full team attacking, or he's in the position to have a shot which he should be scoring and doesn't. It might not really be his fault that this new team, the way Andrew's got the boys playing, just doesn't suit him, which is fair enough to say, because I think there's a lot of players through the years that we could say, oh, they've been brilliant for us, but this style of football will not suit them. And unfortunately for him, it's one of the things. It's this team, this style doesn't suit him, and hopefully the fact that he's got pre-season games is Celtic and Andrew's sort of way of saying, here's a couple of minutes this season, keep you rolling there, but for me, he's not going to be starting anytime soon.
I think JP, for a lot of people that I've spoke to personally about him, again in a group chat, I spoke to Sean about him as well. For people I've spoke to personally, it seems to be squad player. Maybe contribute now and again, but for me, I'll give my full a point on him. But I think Jota, Maeda and Abada are ahead of him. He's probably fourth choice winger. Probably. Maeda is a striker, is a winger. I'd probably say he's a winger. I know he scored last night, but sometimes his finishing can be a bit woeful. Sometimes his first touch can be a pass, but his actual ability and what Ange wants him to do, Maeda, it's very useful to the squad and the team starting. But I think James Forrest, for me, probably is JP the fourth choice winger.
Hi, good evening, lads. Lovely to be on again. James Forrest he's a bit of an enigma, isn't he? To say the least. I personally, like I said to you before, Ryan, I don't like slagging professionals because I'm here talking about them, mate, and they're actually on the park doing but today and getting paid fortunes for doing it. But what we see as fans, as season ticket holders, when we go to the stadium and we see him play, we see a guy who runs like he's towing a caravan. We see a guy who is no longer able to stand his man up in terms of trying to beat him. He plays in an area of the park, mate, that requires athleticism, and he's just, as Sean says there, he slows play down when we play at a high tempo. Now, whether that means a lot of the time, 9 times out of 10, he comes back to live with the ball. So that then means the manipulation of that passage of play then stops, and you have to then regain your possession build-up. So his pass would either go inside or back the way towards the centre half. A couple of times last night he went back to the goalie as well. But his contribution over the last couple of years, now people can say, right, he's been injured and this and that, and, you know, fair enough. But see, when he has played, his contribution has been very little. He just got a new 3-year contract. I don't know what the guy that sanctioned, whoever sanctioned that deal must be high on a prescription medicine or something, you know, because I don't know who sanctioned that for them. I really don't. In terms of, I can understand why they've gave him a contract, okay, because if you look around the globe, mate, all the big teams sort of do it. A lot of them keep these guys because they're good for the squad. That's my only thinking as to why that's happened. Like Real Madrid, they done it with Marcelo. They kept him on an extra couple of years. Barcelona are doing it now with Piqué. They tried it with Dani Alves. It didn't work out. It's experience to help the younger guys. But like you say yourself, Ryan, he's going to be 4th choice, maybe even 5th. There's going to be a battle between Mikey Johnson and him to see who's 5th choice. Because the two of them are probably at the same level right now in terms of their performances. So, as I say, it's frustrating, mate, because you look at Jota, you look at Abada, and you look at Maeda, even when he plays wide, the contribution that these guys bring to the team. And then the board goes up, and you see number 49. And a lot of the stadium, especially the gentlemen, there's a lot of Adam's apples nearly getting swallowed because they see who's coming on, and right away you go, oh no, that's it. As Sean says, the tempo's going to drop. We're not going to be the same. Not going to have continuity. As I say, I don't think he's a bad player. I just don't think he's as fast or as dynamic as he once was before. Do I see him getting it back? No, because he's getting older. Mm-hmm. And like Sean says again, the way the team's being built now with Ange, I think we're moving in a different direction. And like I say to you today, Ryan, every player does have a shelf life. And like Scott Brown, eventually people like that need to move on to pastures new. And that's just the reality, lads. That's, people don't seem to like it because I think they're more thinking about the sentimental value of, he's a Celtic boy, he's been here since he was 9-year-old, and that's a shame, don't slag him, maybe Jamesy or whatever. I've seen a couple of wee comments today. But unfortunately, we need to be real, and we need to deal with it here now. And here now, he's not contributing that very much to the squad.
I think what Sean says, what you says, I think I'm with you, lads. Take away, I know, see if you ask, obviously if you look at his full Celtic career, right, we all know wingers are inconsistent. We all know that wingers can be amazing for 3 games and then be after boil for 6 games. We all know that it happens. But for me, I've never been a big fan of James Forrest, but it is hard to slaughter guys or slag guys or give guys criticism because to go through the youth at Celtic, I know Mikey Johnson, for me, I think Mikey Johnson's got a lot of talent, obvious injuries, and it's not helped him. James Forrest, I agree with performance level, definitely him and Mikey Johnson are no doing it, but I think ability-wise, we all know James Forrest is miles better than Mikey Johnson, but performance levels, like I've always said on this, you can only comment on what you see now. I'm not commenting on James Forrest and what he's done 4 years ago under Rodgers or under Dyer or Lennon, whatever. What he's done previously before the last 2 to 3 years, it was good. He's won medals. He's scored important goals for us. He's been contributing very good. I totally get that. But I'm not speaking about what he's done in the past. I'm speaking about what he's done kind of under Ange and the last year with Neil Lennon. I think the 2019, he done all right. I think was it 10-in-a-row season? I think he actually done okay. But I think, or was it 10-in-a-row season or year before that? But under
9-in-a-row season. It seemed to be the 3-5-2 we played, and it was unbelievable that year.
But the 10 in a row, I know everybody was poor 10 in a row, right? I understand that, but the 10 in a row season, last year, no injuries, but just because he's not been injured every game and every week. I understand the injuries, and listen, I runs myself. I've had bad injuries. It does take time to get going, but at a club like Celtic, you've got time to get going. You've got to, when you've, see the way I see it is, right, see if you're on the bench, you're fit. You're fit to play. You are at your maximum to play.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way I see it. If you can't be 100%, you shouldn't be on the bench.
Right, and I think a good marker for it as well, before is look at the Scotland team. He's not even getting a sniff to go into the training camps for the squad now, or be running about it. I can't, off the top of my head right now, I can't even remember the last time he was picked. I think it might have been when he scored the hat-trick against Israel.
Mm-hmm. Was he picked for Euros, I don't know, was he?
No, he wasn't part of the Euro squad, mate. No, he wasn't wearing them. Was he, Sean? No, he wasn't.
I think so, no.
I don't think he was wearing a Euro squad, lads, no. If any of the listeners are listening in and they know a bit better off the top of their heads right now, I can't think. But I don't think he was with the Euro squad. So it's been a wee while for he's even been in, even with the training camps. So he's not even getting a sniff of that. I think that's a good marker as to where he is at club level.
I was actually trying to look here, but I was looking at my phone, so I was trying to look to see when he last played for Scotland. But for me, I'm like you, is that football's moving forward now. James Forrest, see, take away the last 2 years, right? He's done amazing when it comes to goals. Similar to Brown. Brown, for me, when you look in hindsight now, Scott Brown was no used wisely in his last year on the linen. He played just about every game when he shouldn't have. Scott Brown, for me, was made a scapegoat because he was getting older. And I know the full team is poor, we all know that, right? But I don't talk about that season. But Scott Brown was not used wisely that season. He was played just about every game. And Scott Brown should have been played maybe the Saturday and maybe then only played on the bench during the week and played on the Saturday. He should have been used sparingly and he wasn't. And you can see I thought Scott Brown still played all right. But he was not the Scott Brown of old because he was getting older, and you need to use these players wisely. Similar maybe to Forrest, he might start one game and then he might not play for 3 games. Maybe that might be the best way to get the best out of him. I don't know. But for what I'm seeing, people don't like to judge pre-season, right? I understand the results in pre-season mean fuck all to me. Couldn't care if we could beat 6-1 off West Ham or 4-0 off Rapid Vienna. I don't care about the result because it's pre-season. You're not getting trophies in pre-season. But I comment on how they play. And see when guys are making 5-yard passes astray all the time. Listen, we all make mistakes. That's why I played amateur, because I made mistakes. But I'm allowed to do that. I'm amateur. If you're playing professional with Celtic, you can't misplace passes every 5 minutes because you're going to get punished. And this is why I'm saying about better teams. We're talking about being Champions League. See if we get a ball away every 5 minutes, we're going to get pumped. You can't do that. And I know it's a different level, but the thing for me with James Forrest that you're talking about when it comes to going forward, right? You look at Abada, what's the first thing Abada does when he gets the ball? Direct, he takes his man on. It might not happen all the time, he might lose the ball, but he's trying. Jota gets the ball direct. Defenders don't like pace, they fucking hate you facing them and getting them on the turn. They don't like it. But like you say, JP, James Forrest now, is it confidence? Is it mental? Is it he just can't date anymore? Like he says, I think he's torn a caravan. The fact it's been disrespectful, and I apologise, but I'm just saying my opinion as a fan. That's just the reason about a fan. You comment on what you see. And even last year, I just thought he's torn a caravan. He's just no James Forrest. Is it because he's injured, or is it confidence? I'm no James Forrest. I can't tell you, but I can only comment on what I see. And like you says, last night as well, JP, he's taking the ball back. He's no taking the guy on anymore. And I'm like, fucking go. Take him on.
That's the thing as well, Ryan. I actually thought playing on the left-hand side would actually have been more beneficial for him because it's then easier to stand your man up, to go inside your man to make. So if you're playing against a right back, 9 times out of 10 your right back's got a weak left foot. Or that is his weaker side. Unless you're Ivanovic and you can play with both feet, you're actually all right both sides, but not every right back's like that, is what I'm saying. So to then take a man on and go inside him I thought that would have been more easier for him coming in after left. But he wasn't even able to do that. So, look, I actually think Ange is quicker than him at running. I would like to see Ray 2 have a race and do maybe a couple of wee sprint shuttle runs together. I actually think Ange would leather him. That's it.
See the thing
because
for
like
me,
he says, he's towing a caravan.
see the thing for me, JP and Sean, that I don't know if you've seen this, Sean, I don't know if you sent me it, but see the semi-final against Rangers last year, that's when I realised he was done. I think it was for the second goal. I really don't know why fans have no brought this up.
When he tried to chase Big Shirley.
Right, it's funny, JP, right, but you're trying to... I'm sure it was 2-1 at the time. It was 1 each, wasn't it? It was your second goal, wasn't it?
And he also came on as a sub.
I think it was the lead up to their... Sean, I think it was the lead up to their
second goal. So, I didn't see it. I was at the game myself. I didn't see it, right? It was... I can't remember if it was you who sent me it, Sean, but somebody sent me it or I seen it on Twitter, and you seen him just chasing back, and Bassy's, boom, away. Ball in the box, fuck you, goal, and I'm like that.
As soon as a player gets 2 or 3 yards away from him, he just stops because he knows he's not going to make it.
And he's in.
But Sean, that was when I went, maybe he's no cut out to play this style of play. Maybe Neil Lennon's style of play, aye, happy, but like JP and you have said, Sean, the game's moving forward. We're trying to play on the front foot, and can James Forrest get the ball, go on the front foot and play the ball through now? Sean, I can't see it, but I still think he'll contribute in some capacity, maybe off the bench or against your St Mirren's, etc. But I think going forward, if you want to play European football and we want to be a Champions League club, which I still think we're a mile off, but that's my opinion. I personally think we're European level, Europe League level, sorry. Hopefully this year we can prove otherwise, but is he going to be the guy that's going to go and take the stuff in the ball now, Sean? I just can't see it. I'm not wanting to make this podcast about James Forrest, but I'm just trying to highlight what I've seen so far in pre-season and obviously last year, Sean.
It's not even just about when he's at the ball at his feet. How many games has Abada, when we're attacking down the left with Jota and Maeda, has Abada run in at the back post on another wing and just caught defenders out? How many goals have we seen him? The most noticeable one was when Barkas decided to act like a ball boy at Park Eden, have a seat. That one, it's the way it runs into the box, nobody picking him up. So effective as a winner, and we just don't see that for him at all. So one, you're not getting him good with the ball, and two, he's no good without the ball. So, and the other 3 winners are very good at both of them. So he's got no chance. Well, no chance is a bit harsh, but in terms of who would get picked first, it's certainly not him.
For me, the new deal, I can understand it to a degree when it comes to his experience, because listen, he's won so many trophies. He will be good in the changing room, and he will contribute to a certain degree, especially squad rotational wise. And I know you need a squad in football. I understand that. We all need guys to come in and play, but like I said to Joe last night as well, I think I've said to you, JP, the other night as well. See, if you looked at James Forrest now, if you just looked at his last 2 years, how can, listen, I'm only commenting me, I don't want to say how can any fan say that they deserve a new deal, because fans have all got opinions, right? I'm not any expert. I don't claim to be an expert, I'm just a fan. But for my fan opinion, JP, how can you look at his last 2 years and look at, I know he's injured, I'm taking that into consideration, but how can you give a guy a new deal on what he's done for the last 2 years? How can you tell me he deserves a new deal? How? If people have got an opinion to show me otherwise, tell me, DM me on Twitter or whatever, text me, tell me. But for my footballing opinion, stats-wise, people are big on stats now, right? See, if you want to go on stats this year, you shouldn't be playing.
Well, that's it, Ryan, and that's why I think the new contract can't surely be based on player performance, because if that's the case, then he'd go on the brew.
I'd imagine he's got a wage cut in it. I'd imagine so.
Well, he would have had to. I would imagine he would have had to. There would have been some sort of reduction, because you can't get paid that amount of money, or just say for talking sake he was on 15 grand or whatever he was on. You can't get paid that and you're not really contributing nothing. It's just not feasible for a club to operate like that. Like we spoke earlier, his numbers are very, very low, considering he's an attacking wing player. So his contribution compared to Abada in his first season at Celtic is scary. It's like night and day between the two of them. So the contract he was offered and he was good, the 3-year deal, cannot be on player performance. Nobody's going to convince me and tell me that he warranted that contract through his performances, because he's not. He's got to have been good at either on sentimental reasons or, like I said earlier, all the big clubs seem to do it. They keep continuity, they try and keep experienced pros and amongst the young boys to help the young boys. But like I say, I don't know what kind of help he's offering, because if he can't perform to the level that's been required of him, how's he going to help somebody else do that? So it's baffling just all round, Brian, to think. But obviously, listen, I think the one thing to take for it is we need to trust the manager, I think, there, because he's got to have sanctioned the deal. He's got to have said, aye, give him it, otherwise, because we're led to believe that Ange is in charge of the whole board, so in charge of the whole thing.
I think in this deal, Ange is on medication.
Aye, I think Ange is the one that got away with a prescription sheet, went to Lloyd's and got it hanged and started taking the tablets immediately. But
he went to Stars one night and thought, fuck it,
I'm only kidding there in terms of that. But if Ange's obviously sanctioned it, then there's got to be a reason behind that as well. It's not just it's just frustrating. It's just really frustrating, because I've always liked him. I'm getting really annoyed with him now, because I've seen him perform a better level than what he's shown previously. As Sean says, he was outstanding in 2019. That's only a short time ago. It's not that long ago. And he's only had a couple of injuries since then. So I just don't know what's went wrong. I don't know if maybe a bit like Space Jam and fucking somebody stole his powers or something like that, and he's the one that, I don't know, touched the ring football one day and the powers are still in the ball somewhere, and the ball's been Peter Cade bluttered right there into the bushes somewhere and they can't find it again up Lennoxtown somewhere. But no, as I say, all kidding aside, I really, it's frustrating, and I'm baffled as to the length of the contract he was given.
I'm really hoping, Sean, that he can perform and basically say to us in the podcast and other Celtic fans, fuck yous. I'd love that. I'd love him to perform, and that's why I'm a fan. I'm no player. I can only give my opinion, and sometimes my opinion probably isn't valid. I don't care. I just need to say what I think, and they will pay our money. I'm never going to say... The only time I've maybe said recently that nobody will tell me different is on the right back. Nobody will tell me, Sean, that big Urigi is going to be a Celtic player. Nobody will tell me that. I don't care. People can... I respect people's opinions, but nobody will tell me that boy is good enough to play with Celtic. He might be good enough to play with Aberdeen or go down south again, but I just don't think he's going to ever get to Celtic's level, that's fine. He's still a professional. He might still play at a good level abroad or down south, but as us now, I don't think he'll get to that level. But talking about levels, Sean, Hatate, wow, that boy's going to be an absolute belter. I know. I spoke to Dan on the podcast, and he did say that Maida and Hatate were probably the two that you would take out to feed him. He says if Gucci doesn't really do much, he says you can't really criticise Jans, because let's be fair, we can't criticise him really on his recruitment. I know he's probably sanctioned the Scott Bain deals and Forrest deals. Again, we're being Forrest a wee bit of a jip here, but it's hard for us not to go against the manager. But as fans, we can only speculate and look at what we're seeing. And just because Ange agrees with it doesn't mean we need to agree with it. I know you've got to trust the manager, but you've got to debate and to speculate. But Hatate, Sean, that goal last night, for me, he's not been spoken about enough. I know it's only pre-season, but the ball from McGregor, and he's just watched the ball. Fuck you. It's world class. If that's Messi, it's getting spoken about fucking for years down the line. What a player, man. He's, for me, him and O'Reilly are going to fight out for player of the year. I know you've got Jota and Kyogo and Marcus, but for the especially most improved player, for going forward, they two for me are going to be fantastic.
When Hatate came into us, you could see, right, this boy's a player. He's absolutely phenomenal. But we all agreed towards the end of the season, you could see the tiredness kicking in, and he admitted it himself, which is understandable given he just played a full Japanese season and straight to us. But he done an interview, I think it was at the very start of pre-season, just at the end of the season. I can't mind who it was for, but it was like a more personal interview. And he was saying about how he's really looking forward to a rest because he feels as if he's nowhere near the level he should be at. And you're reading that saying, what? You think you're nowhere near the level you should be at? How good is this boy going to be? And there you go, the games he's played so far, you can see it. He's absolutely unbelievable. And the fact last night as well, you could see when we were getting attacked, he was helping drop back. But as soon as we get the ball, boom, he was in there. And that run for that goal, as you said, the Callum McGregor pass as well, to pick that out, he's seen Hatate making that run. That's a striker's run. If Kyogo or Giacomakis did that, we're like, what a striker that boy is. But a midfielder to run in and also finish that as well, he's unbelievable. And I'm honestly looking forward to this season watching him.
I think that everything you say, Sean, I think it's mostly for me that I think what most fans are saying, mate, because I know he tired last year and probably as fans would say he's lacking fitness, but then you've got to look at, obviously he's played a big season, same way my add Kyogo and Maida as well. So, but like JP, we've spoke about, and basically Sean says there with Hatate's run, the amount of goals we've got from midfield, it's not just Giacomakis and Kyogo. Turnbull can chip in, O'Reilly's been chipping in, McGregor, no really, he's more just a technician. Hatate can score goals that we've seen last year. So going forward in midfield, like I said to Joe last night, you've got a headache. Gucci, will he come good? We don't know. Aaron Moyes still to come in. For me, I don't really get, I said it before on last night's pod and the other night, I don't get the negativity on the transfer. It's a no-brainer for me. Even Joe said it last night. He says, for the experience and the transfer fee, you're buying him in for. It's a no-brainer. But Hatate, JP, last night I thought it was superb, and I'm really looking forward to watching him this year.
Aye, yeah. I echo what you're saying, lads. I think he's absolutely tremendous. He's on a different planet. I think what it highlights with Hatate is he's what Ange wants in terms of the manipulation of play. So the way we play is so hard to defend against and so hard to play against because we play in triangular motions. When we press to two. We press with two, but there's always a point to the press. So the point is shaped like a triangle. So there's always one at the top and two behind. If you've seen it last night, O'Reilly, McGregor and Hatate were always together when we were in transition and we were trying to get the ball back. What I've noticed as well is when other teams have got the ball, Celtic drop into sort of a halfway line. And then what happens is when you get near the halfway line, that's when you're pressed. But you're not just pressed, you're pressed at a fucking tempo that you're... my tongue was hanging out just watching it on the telly last night, looking at them running like that. The speed and running power that's throughout the team now, Ryan, is fucking unbelievable. And it's took a full season to get them there. We've had injuries, we've had hamstring injuries, we've had calf strains, we've had this, we've had that. See all the running power now? It's all there. You'll probably find this season, touch Harry Wood right enough, you'll probably find this season there'll be less injuries like that because they're accustomed to the running that they're being asked to do. And the we never stop model, you could see that in the first half last night. I think it got to a point where Warsaw were actually frightened to play for defence into midfield because they knew exactly what was going to happen. It starts to put fear in people, mate. And it starts to have players on the pitch questioning their own ability because they're going, am I going to have Hatate up my arse, Maeda up my arse, fucking Jota up my arse, Abada. Even Abada last night, I thought he was outstanding, man. He was like people would say he never really contributed much. But as he's running off the ball, it's not just, don't just watch what they do with the ball, watch them off the ball and the shape they fall into. It's frightening, absolutely frightening. But Tati's at the forefront of all that, right? And I've already said it, mate. I've made my feelings clear about that one previously on other pods. I think that it'll be a ball held between him and O'Reilly for Player of the Year. The two of them are just on another planet. The two of them have got so much an understanding. And even like say with McGregor, when McGregor roams forward, Hattati will cover in, or it'll be O'Reilly. So they'll take a shot each of doing it. And for me, I know people bang on about Turnbull and this and that. That's the best three we've got. Hattati, O'Reilly and McGregor. They're the three that destroyed them 3-0 at Parkhead that night at Celtic Park. Because of the manipulation, because of the way they just drag people away, Ryan. They drag people out of shape. Like you could set up a back five with a low block. Guarantee one or two of them's getting dragged out either by Maeda's dynamic runs, Hattati's in and out movements between the mid to front. He can spin in behind. He showed that last night with the one that McGregor plays a wee ball out, and his finish was unbelievable. But not just that, you've got to look at the timing of all that as well, Ryan. He catches that on a half turn mid-air and he just cushions it right at the top of Boric and into goal. So, absolute quality. I also thought what helped in the first half last night as well was the speed of play from Bernaby and Ralston, because it looked like they were only taking a touch to 2 touches and then moving the ball on. It was as if they were told to play on that. I mean, you've got 2 fullbacks with that kind of understanding as well to play them and like coming in as well, knowing when to come in, knowing when to stay. It's going to be really hard for teams to set up and play against us. And I'm even talking about in Europe as well. Teams like Sheriff Tiraspol and Victoria Plazans and Ludogorets and teams that have made the Champions League at that out. I really think we might be too much for teams like that because of the way we play. They don't face anything like that in their domestic campaigns. And I think with Diogo and Maeda and Hattati, they all play at tempo and speed. And when that's being utilised properly, like it was in the first half last night, I do fancy my chances against anybody, mate, to be honest with you. Because we're so good at keeping the ball. Our football in the first half last night was absolutely devastating.
I was going to say that to Sean, mate, after chatting there, that going basically what you've said, mate, I'm agreeing, especially going forward, Sean. I think last night you can see every game going forward, the tempo's getting quicker, and even last year, every time we got the park, you think you're going to score. You just look so threatening going forward, even against the mob other side of the city, even in Europe against Leverkusen, etc. We were looking very dangerous. Betis, going forward, I think we've no issues whatsoever. From midfield to front, I think we've no issues. For me, people are probably still comment on last year how good we were defensively. We were superb last year defensively. European-wise, silly goals, etc. It's not a worry, JP. The only concern, in Sean, that I've got is the silly goals in pre-season. I just hope that it's pre-season, get out of the way, and that's out of the system. I hope that's the right spin. I know me and you were talking last night that you thought Barkas was filled. I can give or take that, but I just think, why is he self-enemy? Where's fucking Canning to us? Was it Julian or Welsh? Was the second half on it? Was it been Julian minute? Or was it Welsh?
It was Welsh. Julian came on about 10 minutes into that.
So why is...
You've got to look at the phase, Ryan. The phase of that, they're anticipating Carter Vickers winning it to start into phase 1, into transition for picking up the ball. That's why they were in their shape. And that's why it looked like
for me,
they were fucking depleted at the back, because that's the way we set up naturally.
It was also very clever for their keeper as well.
Mm-hmm.
But to act like that, as soon as they get the ball, just release that boy. So
yeah,
I just don't know.
Just
Sean,
one of
I just think it's a wee bit concerning the way we can see silly goals. I know it's only pre-season and you're trying not to judge too much, but silly goals. I know the free kick was good for Diaz, it was, but I thought Seacrest's positional sense was terrible. I thought he should have saved it. I'm not
The
going to
initial foul
criticise
was
him.
terrible for Julian.
I know. It was.
He doesn't need to make that challenge, mate.
I just think that, to be fair, I'm not going to criticise him too much because somebody says we're superb, and I did say to Joe last night, and Joe agreed with me that I think he'll push Hart this year. I'm not saying he was going to take Hart, but he will challenge Hart because I think he's a very good goalkeeper. We've seen it, Sean, last year when he played against us. I don't know what you think about defensive wise, Sean. I know the defence is up and down. We all know, for me, Juranovic will be the right back. Will it be Lenz? Don't know. Starfelt still to come back in. I generally believe that maybe Vickers is missing Starfelt because the boys in pre-season, I thought Vickers has not really been up to his standards as yet. Again, is it rustiness? Probably is, because we all know how good Vickers is. Starfelt for me is a big miss now. I know for the first month of the season, most of the Celtic squad were saying, is this guy going to cut it? But when you look up now, Swedish internationalist, he plays most times with Sweden. When you look at him and Vickers, they're probably the first two. The boy Lenz, we don't know how good he is. I can't judge him. He's obviously fancied the hands because he was looked at before. Defensive wise, probably Bernaby. I think going forward, he looks good. Defensively, maybe he's got to shake up, but I think he'll air time, like I says as well. So I don't think he's coming here not to play. You don't sign that Argentinian for $3.5 million and don't expect him to play. But I think going forward, mate, very, very good. But hopefully defensively, maybe get one in. Maybe I don't know if Julian goes, but I think maybe need to start showing up for defensive wise for maybe the Aberdeen game.
I agree with you in the sense Carter Vickers is probably missing Starfelt, because when a lot of people are quite critical of Starfelt when he first came in, and even if you look back at Carter Vickers' first few games, it wasn't the player that we're seeing now. But the two of them just formed that connection with each other, that they know exactly where each other is. It's chill, he's got it. It could be just he's missing him. The fact that he keeps chopping and changing who's playing beside him in pre-season, because it's trying to again. It's just as important as if you play two strikers, two centre-backs need a partnership, because it can't just be all the two do the same thing. It's not going to work like that. So I think it's maybe just he's a bit unsettled with the chopping and changing of the team, which is expected. But pre-season, get that iron done with. Hopefully Starfelt's back pretty soon. Also, we need to look at this boy Lenz to see what he's like. I reckon he'll get a good few minutes on Saturday. By the sounds of it as well in his interview, he was dying to go and play last night. If it was up to him, he'd have been straight out of Poland last night and playing. So I think he's ready for Saturday to play, and hopefully he's going to be a good addition to the squad. And if Starfelt is still a couple of weeks away, hopefully he can slot in there with Carter Vickers.
Do we know if Starfelt's even training properly with the squad?
I've not seen anything on JP at all.
Not seen any videos. I know when Ange was asked about it, Ange did say he was going to miss the majority of pre-season. So, in terms of he's missing the games, okay, fair enough. But is he missing training? Because if he's missing training, then he's miles away.
He wasn't at the open training day on Monday, but
he wasn't there.
No, but the thing is, right, there was a few players done a wee bit of the session and then sat out the rest of it, like Jota, McGregor and stuff, because they'd played in the Saturday, the most minutes. So
right, okay.
I was talking to a guy at the game, at the training day, and he was saying, Starfelt will be up at Lennoxtown in the gym doing recovery stuff today, because he's not ready for the tempo that we're doing the training at. He's not ready for that yet.
But the thing is, right, just before we started back, Sean, we seen a video of Starfelt on Insta, and he was on the beach with a guy doing training and running and jumping, and so what is it he's injured? Because he looked as if he was moving freely in that video. So I'm just a bit kind of baffled as to what is actually wrong with him. I know he hurted himself with Sweden. I don't know if it was his back. He landed awkwardly, didn't he? And then he was clutching his back.
It was his hamstring that he'd done.
Was it his hamstring?
Aye.
Right, I thought it was his lower back. If it's his hammy, then you're talking, how long was Kyogo out? And that was a hammy, so was Turnbull.
That video was quite deceiving, but like today that on sand's pretty fucking hard on your legs.
Well,
when I seen that, I was like, dude, the big man's back, here we go. And
yeah, and the fact he's not took part in any of the sort of pre-season. I've not even seen him in any of the videos that Celtic have put out, like with the squad, which is that's quite alarming, to be fair. Considering he was one of our best attributes last season, along with big Carter Vickers. So no, it's going to be interesting. Which makes me then think: is Jens going to? Is he coming into play? Is he going to be forced to do that? Because I've spoke to the boys on the podcast before, Sean. I don't think Stephen Welsh is what Celtic need moving forward, mate. He's not got the ability to play at that elite level consistently. And if that's your go-to centre-back, if, like say, for talking about Starfelt or Cameron Carter-Vickers is injured, then I think you're banging soapy bubble.
I like Big Welsh, but in terms of, he's going to be starting, nah, he's not that level. He could get there because he's still young enough. He's still...
Yeah.
You think about the way Lennon chucked him into the team, and you can imagine the way he was telling him to play, constantly changing who he was playing with at the back, to now Andrews came in. No, I'm going to change again the way you're playing. For a boy at his age as a centre-back, the contrast in styles there, that can take a bit of getting used to.
Yeah.
But I'm happy that mid-game or Starfelt's looking a wee bit tired, like he's maybe got a dead leg for an oak or something. Welsh is coming on. I'm not going to panic. Mm-hmm. But if we're doing into the start of the season and Starfelt's nowhere to be seen, then I will start to panic a bit, because I don't think he's the level to jump in there with Carter Vickers and be, aye, that's fine, we've got no issues at the back. Don't think he's at that level, but...
Would you panic if Starfelt was cramping up or whatever, and it was, say, for talking to Salah or Mbappe that was playing against them? Would you panic then having to bring Welsh on? Because I know my heart would jump right into my fucking throttle, man.
Aye.
Sort of.
Yeah,
I think,
absolutely.
And that's nothing to do with, by the way, I don't think Stephen Welsh is a bad footballer. I just don't
Celtic
think
level.
he's good enough to play. I don't think he's good enough to play at that level yet. And if that's your go-to centre-back, for an instance, what you just said there, Sean, in terms of one of them fall with cramp, or he needs to come off for a precaution, and just say the game's maybe, I don't know, fucking, like, let's cross our fingers and toes here. The game's one each against Bayern Munich at Celtic Park. The game's getting into the 75th minute. And here comes Stephen Welsh. The whole stadium's going to fucking, the whole unison's going to go, that's the, in my opinion, that's probably 9 times out of 10, that's probably going to be the reaction. The same way it would be if, I don't know, if Jota ended up getting injured and you had to bring Mikey Johnson on. I think you would be fucking, I don't know. I think the toilets would be, you'd be queuing at the toilets because there'd be fucking skids running down you. You'd be touching cloth, I think. There'd be skids running down the inside of the back of your legs and everything.
I don't think we'd be drinking water, we'd be shouting in the fucking toilet.
No, but we wouldn't be called the toilet drinkers, we would be called something else.
But Sean, that goes on to the point that, sorry JP, that goes on to the point that talking about players who can come in and play. We all understand when you play friendlies, managers make changes and the tempo does drop. Listen, it's natural. And McCarthy came on yesterday. I've kind of rated McCarthy through his career when he's played. I thought even when he signed, I still think it was a no-brainer. I still don't think it was a bad signing. I still don't think nobody can say it's totally not worked out. But is he going to play? I don't think so. But so far, I think he's doing the pecking order. I think he is a squad player. I think he can come in and play against your St Mirrens and your Ross Counties, but like we're trying to say, for me, I'm focusing on more the European group stage. I'm trying to, is these guys are they going to be able to come on and play like your Spelshies, your McCarthy's? I'm trying to think who was come on last night. Your
Mikey Johnson.
Are they guys going to be able to come in and, like we were saying, I know you've got to have a squad there, JP, people understand that, and some guys are not going to be as good as the other. But ideally, you want to have maybe at least one player who's going to come in and play and be roughly the same level. That's what we're trying to say with James Forrest. Can he come in and do what Jota and Barkas can do? No. Can Johnson do it? No. Can Welsh do what Starfelt? But I understand that that's why we're third and fourth choice.
Mm-hmm.
But like you say, JP, can we rely on these fringe players, so-called fringe players, to come in and play, European-wise, to help us? And like you're saying, I don't know. I know that's why they're fringe players, because they're not playing every week. But
Ryan, why can't we bring in that kind of quality? Because Liverpool have got...
I know.
I know Liverpool have got a lot more money than we can spend per transfer window, but Liverpool can bring off Darwin Núñez and bring on Firmino. They can bring off Salah and put on Jota. They can bring off Diaz, and do you know what I mean? Do you know where I'm going? So if these big clubs can do that, in my opinion, we're a big club, so how can we not do that as well? So in terms of the quality of the squad, I don't see any reason as to why. I know we've got to recruit within our means, right? We've got to use it wisely and blah, 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 blah. We don't have the finances that have got down in England. I get all that, okay. But don't tell me there's no another Jota there or no another Abada there that we can go and recruit within our means to go, like, well, we can bring Abada off and put him on. Or we can bring Carter Vickers off and put him on. There's got to be a level, a quality that even meets our requirements as well. So I don't really want to go down that path of going, the guy that's coming on isn't going to be that good, because I would be expecting that to happen, especially if you want to associate yourself as being a Champions League club, right?
I don't know what you think of that, Sean, but for me, I think maybe last night, again, we've not seen much of Gucci. You can't really judge him to an extent because he's not won our games, but I think for me, I think Aaron Moyes, like we've spoken about personally, I think Aaron Moyes come to play a contribution with. I don't think he's coming here as a pals act. He's not here because he's just a free transfer. Fuck it, we'll sign him. Andrew's obviously gaining this deal for a reason, and the fact that I think it's an option in another deal, he's obviously expecting him to come in and play some capacity. And like we said, is Hatate going to play further forward? Is McGregor and him going to sit? Is O'Reilly? How's he going to do? Do you know what I mean? It's going to be... He's going to have a lot of decisions to make, but I think for me, just on what I know from Aaron Moy, if Aaron Moy's fit, again, I can't judge Gucci too much because I've not seen him too much, but on my knowledge of Aaron Moy, if Aaron Moy's fully fit, he's in front of Gucci McCarthy, Sean.
With the Aaron Moy thing, I'll be honest, sitting in bed playing FIFA, my fiance said to me, she's looking through Twitter, she goes, Aaron Moy, and I'm like, oh, would you link to him every transfer one day? It's like another Paddy Robertson, his name always pops up, and it was no, we're actually signing him. So right, okay, I wasn't over the moon, I wasn't delighted, as I imagine a lot of people were. It's not exactly very, very exciting with the buzz that we got with Jota and Carter Vickers and that. But then me and you were texting about it, and I thought, right, I'm going to look into this a bit more. What's he been up to recently? I know he was in China. It's very hard to judge because, let's face it, a lot of players go there to make cash. They're not going there to develop as a football player. But I think the crucial thing was Australia qualifying for the World Cup. 2 very difficult games they had to get through, and he played as a central defensive midfielder in both the games and was superb in the two of them. And I've read reports on the games, I look back at the highlights, and it totally changed my mind on him. I'm like, yep, the fact that we've brought him in, as JP was saying with the whole, if, like in terms of having the quality on the bench, there should be a first team player, 2 first team players in every position. So if one team's off, one is on, you're no panicking. The fact that we've got Aaron Moy in the door to join the midfield, Turnbull, O'Reilly, McGregor, Hatate, to join that group, it's a no-brainer. The fact that it was a free transfer, so it'll be interesting to see where exactly he does play. If he sits back, if he pushes forward, as me and you were discussing, if they're going to trial the 4-2-3-1, is he going to be the one sitting or whatever? But it'll be interesting to see, and my mind changed quickly after reading a bit more about him, and hopefully it changes even more when we get to see him play.
Because I just think that it's just in terms of value. It was the same McCarthy. I know McCarthy's not done... I know I'm saying, is McCarthy good enough, right, to play, but when he's played in certain games, last year. He didn't do too much, Ryan, when he came in, but pre-season, I don't think he's done that well, right? But I'm trying not to judge too quickly, but I don't think he came in Champions League wise. Can McCarthy play? I don't know. It's there to be seen. But for me, Aaron Moyes, JP, just in terms of value, no matter what he does, in terms, we'll talk about this and then we'll go into obviously a wee quick round up on the players, the worst players. But for me, JP, Aaron Moy, just in terms of value, it's a no-brainer.
Oh, absolutely, mate. Well, you can look at it a couple of ways. We've not paid a penny for him. We've offered him a wage, and it's married into sheer timing of him leaving the team in China. He was with Shanghai Port. Not only that, he played for 3.5 years under Ange when Ange was the Australian national team coach. So he knows right away the way he knows what the demands are all about. He knows Harry Kewell. He probably knows a couple of the Australian boys that are in Scottish football as well. His wife's from Glasgow. I thought it was interesting listening to him today talking, and the fact that he said he's not won a lot of trophies. So he's played for clubs, but he's not won a lot of trophies. And obviously that was a big reason. He knows that Celtic challenge for trophies every season. Probably a big lure would have been the Champions League. I'm only imagining that would have been because that's a big carrot for any player to want to sign for Celtic this season. They're guaranteed Champions League football. You're guaranteed 6 blockbuster games, whether you get scudded fucking 8-0 every game or you're in them or you're no, doesn't matter. You're guaranteed 6 games. So, and then you're guaranteed four derbies in the season where you're on the map, as in on Sky Television, being broadcasted all around the world. So it's a massive lure for any player, that itself. But in terms of, as you said there, Ryan, it's not a pals act. Ange hasn't signed Aaron Moy because, do you know what, he's Australian and he sounds like me, he's got the same accent as me, and I think it's going to sound cool when we do pressers together. That's not what he signed him for.
And he's bald and he looks hard.
He looks hard, aye. Aye, well, maybe that's why he's signed him. Maybe Scott Brown's not there anymore, so we need somebody that looks like one of the Mitchell brothers, the middle of the park. Teams will just be put off.
Just need a bald enforcer. Every team needs one.
Aye. Just somebody that just sits there and shows you their heat. What that? That'll be me shortly, by the way. What that? Put some milk on it and a cat will lick it off, by the way. No, his footballing ability is the reason why he's been brought in. And he's not been brought in to sit on the bench. He's been brought in because he's going to be played. He's going to be somebody that Ange can trust. He's probably not going to take a long time to settle either. Like I say, with his wife being Glaswegian and he's been back and forth all the time, and all you need to do is listen to him talk. He was sold on the move pretty soon. It's Celtic, Brian. If you're from Glasgow or in about Glasgow or you know MD from Glasgow, you're going to know who Celtic are, and they're massive here. So when you get a chance to go, you go. You don't hesitate and you don't think about it twice. Because if you do, you don't normally get a second chance or a bite of the cherry to come again later on down the line. But he's a good footballer. His passing range is very, very good. We spoke about it earlier. Celtic play at a tempo, and he sets standards as well, Ryan. So he'll set standards for the guys running about him as well. He's experienced in the game, so he's played in different leagues for starters. He's still a current Australian internationalist that have, as Sean says, they've qualified for the next World Cup. So he'll be going to that as well. So as I said, it's there's no risk at all involved with it. Put it this way, there's more risk in James Forrest on a 3-year deal based on a fabrication of what the fuck you gave him that deal for, I don't know, than there is getting Aaron Moy. What is it, a 2-year deal ago? Is it?
I think it's a
2-year deal.
I think it's a 1 year, but with an option to a year, wasn't it? I think.
Right, because when it got announced on Sky said it was a 2-year deal.
It might be, but I just thought it was a 1 and plus 1.
Aye, but again, I'll go back to, you could look at it in the reverse of Forrest. You've got to kind of trust Ange as well to an extent, because he's the one he's an in-signing, so he's the one that's kind of sanctioned the deal and brought him in. The same as obviously he's sanctioned whatever he's done for Forrest. But no, as I say, Ryan, I don't think there's any risk with Aaron Moy at all. I think it'll not be long before Aaron Moy shows his quality. He has got merit, I would say. He can play a defensive mid, Sean, but he has got more attacking qualities in him than what he has defensively. But he isn't frightened to tackle people. I think that's key as well. You will see him put a boot in if he needs to, or put his arse in the road, because he kind of is that type of player. He sticks his arse out a lot, like to cover himself, to shield the ball, and he's very good technically. I think that's another one of his major qualities, and he dictates the tempo when we play. I think he'll be somebody that will help McGregor in abundance, maybe to push McGregor into that number 8 role that we all love him playing in, because we think he's more effective in there. But he can play number 6, number 8. He can do it very comfortably. I think he can get a boot as well, so he's got a wee bit of athleticism in him as well, even though he's 31. He's only 31, guys. He's no...
I know.
People are going, oh, he's 31. He's 31. I wish I was 31 again. But he's only 31. He's no 41 or 51. And as I say, as Sean says, I'm looking forward to seeing him as well, because I think it'll not be long before we're all ranting and raving about him playing for Celtic.
I think the Champions League is a big lure. I know JP, you're plus our teammate, so we'll get the worst transfers out the way, but I think Champions League's a big lure for us in any capacity this season, for any transfer going forward. On to a wee bit of good laugh on Twitter talking about a few worst transfers we've signed, Sean. For me, my first one, I think for me, Celtic fans, I think it was the biggest on the poll in terms of value, was Barkas, Sean. I think it's, if you signed him a free transfer, I don't think you've been playing too much, but the fact you paid £5 million from him, probably gave him about 20 grand a week, it was a shambles, that signing. I don't think I need to say too much more. His positional sense against West Ham said it all. That was laughable. That was just unbelievable. And that, for me, that I try to not judge him too much, but after that game, the jury was out. He done all right against St Johnstone when we were doing to bare bones, but he was, in terms of value, man, hopeless. The other one was Freddie Lundberg. Don't know who sanctioned that deal. That was unbelievable. I don't know if it was a publicity stunt to sell shirts, because it was finished. I think his debut was at Berwick Rangers, or one of his first games. He was fucking hopeless. Hardly played. And another one, you could pick Mullins, but the other one for me was Baldy. I don't know who signed him either. I really don't know. You could put in guys like Carlton Cole. I know Carlton Cole. He did do well for West Ham and Chelsea and stuff, but for Celtic, Sean...
We had a couple of Baldies. What one do you mean?
Amido Baldi, striker. I think it was £2 million he signed for or something. Again, Sean, more wasted projects that we've signed, and I'm happy that Ange is not really doing these project signs, because I'm done with them. I think me and you bet that game, Sean, didn't we? We were absolutely fucked, and we seen Carlton Cole.
Inverness away. Sing the Carlton Cole song, pure just doing it for a laugh because of how shite it was, and then he fucking does a forward roll, and the ball hits him and goes in. He celebrates as if he's just scored an absolute screamer. If that's your Celtic highlight, then you're absolutely rotten. Just touching on the Amido Baldi one, if you think of who his strike partner was at the time, Timo Pukki. I know he's went on to do well now, but at the time, that was the two choices to play up front for us. Timo Pukki and Amido Baldi. Jesus Christ.
I know, mate. I don't know who you think's maybe 2 or 3, mate, that are the worst, but there's quite a bit to pick for, especially the last 10 years.
Charlie Musonda's up there for me.
I was saying the Twitter, Musonda, Sean.
I think a big one that sticks out for me, lads. He came with a big pedigree, and obviously a lot of promise. There was a lot of type and promise around. Dirk Richter.
Yep.
He came to Ajax. He was a big feat at the time.
I was looking forward to him, Barry, because his debut was superbly injured.
Aye.
Well, for you were looking forward to him, because he looks like you. That's the only reason.
I respect your hair.
Same injury record and all.
Oh, fuck, I know, that's true, aye.
I think he got injured. He ripped his shoelaces playing against Ross County in his debut, where he actually could have scored about 8 goals within the first half an hour of the game. And a bit like James Forrest, his decision making was fucking horrendous. But he was just like that, man. He's just an absolute sick note. Just totally. And then another one you could probably see, he came up here with a wee bit of he came up here with good pedigree, but he was absolute shape, was big Stefan Helmschuss. Came up for Liverpool in a Martin O'Neill team, and he looked like he was playing with under-4s. He was fucking, I don't know what he was doing, man, but he was, Raphael Scheit's got to be another one as well, because we paid, John Barnes watched 2 minutes of a YouTube clip of him and paid £5 million for him. That was absolute stinking. I remember he played I think he only played 1 game for the team, and it was a friendly against West Ham. He cleared the ball. It was the Canio shot. He cleared it off the line, and everybody was going like, "Oh, he's repaid the £5 million fee because he cleared a shot off the line." Rob Douglas cleared a shot off the line, I know, but he was fucking hopeless. I think another one as well was going to be Magnus Hedman. He came up with a big pedigree as well, and I think the only thing was big about him was his aftershave bottle.
To be fair, but was his bird no nice, man?
I don't know, mate.
But I'm sure he's bird a wee Swedish belter, no?
Right.
Every Swedish bird's nice, but so.
I think you need to stop hanging about at IKEA, mate.
I say meatballs, mate. I love them, man. I love them.
Stay off that fucking path, whatever you do. Don't stray for the path. You just see him there sniffing fucking work tops and all sorts of these.
Swedish.
Jolly boy John.
Running about his wee IKEA pencil.
I mean, me Gio running about with a pencil sharpeners and all that.
I've got Gio, his wee Peppa Pig guns book.
Running about IKEA with your walkie-talkies.
But I agree with you on that, but I don't know you think, Sean, some of your guys, but Hedman came with a big reputation. I'm sure he was he not still playing with Sweden, Sean, when he was at us? I know he didn't play a lot, but was he not still in the Sweden squad?
Aye.
I think he was, aye. A couple that stood out for me that have been absolute disasters. Charlie Musonda, the hype that was running that boy, me included, I was absolutely buzzing. How has this even happened? I can't believe this. And then all it took was 2-3 games. In fact, when you put the tweet out about this and people were saying Musonda, I thought, I wonder what he's up to now. Have you seen the latest story about him?
I know he was coming back for injury and he got released for Chelsea, but I don't know where he is now.
So he had a trial at a Belgium team, and they went, do you know what? He trained with him for a wee bit, he had a trial, and they thought, aye, we're going to give you a contract, and they've not heard from him since. He's just went off the radar. Nobody knows where he is or what he's doing.
How long ago was that, Sean?
I think it was only a couple of weeks ago.
Fucking hell.
The club are sitting with a contract ready for him to sign. They're like, I think they're quite low down in the Belgian league. They're thinking, this boy, he's not had a proper chance at a team. We'll take him on, sort of thing, free transfer, whatever. And he's just went off the radar. So
I think he had a bad attitude, didn't he? He thought he was a Billy Big Bollocks, and then he just sort of...
It's that Chelsea youngster in it, that attitude. Oh, I play for Chelsea. No, you don't. You're on the books at Chelsea, but you're getting punted out everywhere because you're never near the first team.
you don't even get a game on the PlayStation. Shut up, stupid. Know what I mean? One of the ones.
Aye, but I'm agreeing with you, sure. I think on Twitter as well, I think Big Daniel, he was quite on him as well. Daniel was saying about him as well. The hype about him, like you've says. Again, another one he doesn't know last few minutes, mate, the other guys, but another one was Ethan Juarez as well. I thought he was a belter, and then they found out he liked a bit of Charlie, and they just went tits up.
Aye. Before it, he was sliding on enchiladas and all that. He was getting out of Costco. He was turning up late to training. People thought he was like Michael Jackson doing a moonwalk or a way along a turn, mate.
Aye, but any more, Sean, that you think in terms of maybe special value as well, but so many can pick for him, man.
Josh Hoyveld.
That's a Eugene.
Josh Thompson.
Jeremy Toljan. Dortmund he came for, wasn't it?
Aye. Again, another big reputation.
Edison Bra fighting and playing the World Cup.
John Joe Kenny.
Fucking lacks out. That was a good point that Joe said last night. He says, I know we are getting maybe, I know I gave Greg Taylor a bit of jip, right? But you've got Ralston, Taylor, and Janovic, not Burnley, but right? Look at where Joe says we were 2 years ago. You Kenny and Laxalt, your fullbacks.
Kenny, Laxalt, Julian and Duffy was your back four with Barkas and Rolls.
I try no slash in Duffy because I know when he came here what happened to him, but the manager kept playing him. And he was dug. Let's be fair, as Ian McCall says, he was fucking dug meat.
A lot of people will criticise the big man, and obviously he did play shocking. But the one thing that stood out for me about Shane Duffy that changed my mind on him was during that season, see any time we went a goal down that we were getting beat, he showed he was fucking raging about it. And a lot of that team, didn't he? You could see it was getting to him more and more. And a lot of that team that season couldn't care less. So I gave him a bye for that. It was shocking, let's be honest. Boy, big Irish international, outstanding for Brighton, whatever. But we should say a lot of stuff went on with him that obviously didn't help.
I think it was Declan that says it there, no? Stephen Mayakolo.
Aye, with the goals, wasn't it?
Aye, he came up here again. He looked decent, and he played against Liverpool in a pre-season friendly, man, and he went missing. He done a Charlie Musonda, he went. Scarlett Pimpernel. Marvin Compa.
Oh, fun. I love it.
Absolute hero.
I love it.
Capo. I know he won about 14 medals, man, and never never even got a game of fives.
Was it it was 8 in a row one, wasn't it? When Trophy Day
he came up
by Marvin Compa, and it was the biggest cheer of the day. You've got to respect that, man. Even he was joining them. I know I've done that here. Fuck it.
That's the same.
What about Big Bio?
I know, JP, I know you're best for time, but how did he get a £5 million move to Watford? £5 million?
That's mad, isn't it?
Football.
John Barnes is the chief scout.
Fucking Jesse Lingard, £200,000 a week, and all. What's this all about? But on the end of the podcast, JP, I know you're tight for time, mate. Overall, Norwich is Saturday, mate, going forward.
I'm looking forward to the season starting now, to be honest. Get this pre-season underway and then out of the way, and let's get the season started and let's start dealing with the big dogs. And then the Champions League's just from the corner. So then it's crammed in this, obviously, because the World Cups, we break up in late October, beginning of November. So it's a kind of rushed Champions League group stage campaign. Overall, I'm looking forward to it. It's been not been able to go to Celtic Park for a while, so I'm looking forward to getting back. And it's a bit of a shambles because they've gave us a 4:30 kick-off on a Sunday. We should be a 12:30 kick-off on a Saturday, being champions, I thought, personally. Yep. But we'll not talk about sporting integrity. That's early in the noon Scottish football, lads, eh?
Don't get me started, JPL. I've already got an ambition for media this season, mate. Don't give me any more.
Not about your bad players. I'm actually surprised you've not mentioned Greg Taylor yet, mate. You've done well, innit?
Barry, yeah.
Sean, he's absolutely raging because Greg Taylor's not giving him any reason to moan now.
Raging me, you. And yourself, Sean, obviously going forward in the game Saturday, and obviously going back to Celtic Park.
Looking forward to the game Saturday. Obviously, it is good to go, but there's just that extra wee bit of buzz about going to the game when it's a competitive game. So the fact that we're 9-10 days away for the season, that confused. I'm thinking start of the season, cool, we're playing Saturday. It's that fucking stupid Sunday. But the fact that we're just over a week away for it kicking off again, JP, you touched on it the other night on one of the podcasts about the way pre-season's been set out, the Wednesday, Saturday routine.
Yeah.
The fact that it's going to add to the build-up to the World Cup, I can't wait for that. Because how many times during the last season, an international break, or there's just a wee gap in the games, you were gutted, missing Celtic, but it's really crammed in now, and it's buzzing for it.
I think the full consensus of what you're saying, I think we're all looking forward to back to Celtic Park in a competitive game. But I know JP was her teammates, so I'll end it there, mate. Sean, again, thanks for your time, mate. It's been, again, I think everything we've spoke about roughly, but I think some fans will be saying, I hope I'm not getting absolutely pummeled on Twitter tonight. But again, lads, hail, take care, and I'll see you again.
Hail, lads. It's been a pleasure. See you again.